Heyo, welcome to episode 16 of Create This Book 3 by Mariah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. That would be me. I may sound a little bit off. I am recovering from a cold, a pretty hefty one. I may have been a little bit dramatic for the last 2 days and stayed in bed while I recovered. I'm still not 100% and I really contemplated not doing this episode this week, but screw that, like I just got caught up. I am not about to fall behind again. We are gonna push through. I just gotta stay hydrated and I will be fine. I just find it so crazy. I was completely like overworked, sleep deprived, more stressed out than I've ever been, max capacity. And I kept telling myself like, girl, you are gonna get sick. You are gonna get sick. And I didn't. And then a week into having lightened my load, and I'm in a better state of mind, and I'm getting sleep, and I'm not stressed, my daughter brings home the plague from preschool. Oh, Mother Nature, like, gotta hand it to her. She has a sense of humor. Yeah, we have 4 prompts to tackle this week, so enough of me talking. Let's jump right in and see what I can create. Okay, first prompt of the week. Create relaxation. Do something that relaxes you for 20 minutes. Document the experience. Okay, well, this is an incredibly easy way to coast into the week. Do nothing for 20 minutes, basically. It's so hard, though, because some of the things I find most relaxing cannot be done in 20 minutes. But I'm actually going to take a little cue from the prompt doodle there, the little face mask. Everybody loves getting a face mask. That is very relaxing. It's a nice little de-stressor, and hey, I could use it today. I could use it today. And I'm gonna pair it with something else that I actually really find relaxing, which is watching true crime. But I will say, it has to be snapped up to, I think it was either season 20 or season 21 where they switched the narrator and it just lost all of its mojo. But the original narrator, oh my God, I don't know what it is, but her voice is so soothing to me. She's talking about a woman beating a man to death with a stiletto, and I'm like, oh, so nice. So yeah, I'm gonna do a face mask. I'm gonna watch a little Snapped, and we'll be back in 20 minutes. Every time I put one of these on, I feel like I remind myself of The Office / Silence of the Lambs. If you know. You know. Alrighty, I'm ready to relax.
At 22, Ashleigh Petula was building a new life with her new girlfriend, Nikki, but their relationship was complicated thanks to Nikki's boyfriend. Then, the boyfriend was bludgeoned to death. Was the brutal attack the work of an intruder, or was the killer someone much closer to home?
Alas, my time is up. Oh look, I look exactly the same. That wasn't an instant 5 years younger mask. What the heck? Collagen and hyaluronic, come on. No, that actually was nice. I'm just annoyed I don't get to finish the episode. Now I'll never know what happened. Just kidding. It's like my favorite episode ever. I know exactly what happens. And I will tell you all about it now that I get to document my experience.
First and foremost, I guess I'm just going to draw myself masking for this page. I mean, how else would I really document the experience? I guess I could tell you how it felt. The mask itself was nice. It starts off definitely like cold and refreshing on your face. Then as it sits for a couple of minutes, it starts to give you that little tingle. It's kind of a spicy tingle, but not quite an itch. But she lets you know she's working. But that feeling dissipates pretty quickly, and then you just kind of feel like your face is soaking under a soft, wet blanket. The best part for sure is when you finally take it off and your skin can breathe again. It's like you get hit with a cool gust of wind, and then you get to massage the excess into your skin, which, hey, that feels nice. But after, you've got soft, dewy, hydrated skin. It feels so awesome. As for my TV experience, well, that was quite enjoyable too. I can't lie, as much of a true crime junkie as I am, I really haven't watched any lately. I've just been so busy, so it was really nice to hear my Snap Chick's voice again after so long. I don't know what it is, but she puts me in a trance, and please no negativity over the fact that true crime relaxes me. I know that's weird. I know it's unsettling to some people. I think the normal human response to hearing something awful is to feel awful, so I can't really explain why I enjoy it. It's definitely not like a glorification of murder type thing. I definitely don't have some secret desire to murder somebody, and I don't ever side with the murderers in these cases. I just find the stories fascinating, and I obsess over the why and the how. Like, how is a killer made? Why did they decide to do something so awful? But yeah, the only bummer was having to stop watching after 20 minutes. I mean, I obviously kept the episode playing while I made my art for the day, but when I do that, it's just background noise, like I don't get to actively watch. And that's kind of sad because, like I said, this particular episode of Snapped is one of my favorites. Because just when you think you know where it's going, more twists and turns. I was gonna give a full synopsis on it, but now I'm thinking it would make for a great episode of my true crime and doodle time series that I want to do. Just as soon as I'm back to having time to do more bonus videos, I really should get that series off the ground. Let's go ahead and add it to the long-running list of things that I need to make happen that I have going on in my brain. But here's the setup. Sweet little Canadian Leslie Ashleigh, spelled my way, meets a girl, Nikki, at work. They kind of fall for each other, but Nikki has a boyfriend. In a weird twist, the boyfriend is totally down for this and lets Ashleigh move in with them, and they just kind of have this polyamorous love triangle thing happening. Apparently, the boyfriend was a real piece, though. Controlling, abusive, etc. Well, one day he winds up axe murdered in their house. The story that they try to tell is that there was an intruder that came in while Nikki was in the shower and Ashleigh was sleeping. Now, the intruder didn't steal anything, just came in, killed the boyfriend, and used an axe that they found in the house. I mean, come on, girls, do better. Needless to say, the police aren't buying this crappy story, so they basically bring the girls in for questioning and tell them that no one's leaving until someone fesses up to doing this awful thing. Ultimately, Ashleigh confesses to being the perp and is arrested, but that is just the beginning. Like, there are so many surprises and WTF moments in this story, and the whole thing is left a little bit of a mystery. Ashleigh ends up being acquitted, and just me personally, I am 100% convinced she didn't do it, but it's pretty wild. I will definitely have to cover that story. I was in a watercolor mood this week, so I used it on this drawing of me masking. And then I punched up the liner and added some colored pencil shading off camera. Ooh la la. Now to just cut myself out, glue it into the book. And also for filler, I added that snapped opening dialogue to document what else I was experiencing while masking. Add a little zhuzh to the prompt here. And I think that'll do for this page. I had fun with this one. Is the drawing the most out there original idea? No, definitely not, but I think I did a good job with it. I mean, it looks like me, so yeah, good start this week. Next up is create a mythical creature. Draw your own mythical creature. Now, if you recognize this, this will be my second time doing this prompt because this is one of the prompts I did for that massive 50-person Create This Book 3 collab.
Playlist linked in the description.
I had so much fun making my little Dracaterus for that video, but now I need another idea. I thought I would kind of use the same method where I take an actual mythical creature and just kind of splice it with a couple other creatures to make a new creature. And since last time I kind of made a creature of the land, this time I want to make a creature of the sea. So the creature I'd like to start with is Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. Now, it's been proven that she was a myth, but I think we can all agree that based on witness claims, if she was indeed real, she was likely a plesiosaur that escaped extinction somehow. But real or not, let's start there. Plesiosaur. Now I want to give her a fun little trait from one of my favorite mythical creatures, which is a mermaid. So we'll give her a little mermaid tail. Messy with a mermaid tail, it looks believable, a little too believable. We want something a little more out there and wacky. Let's give her the head of a unicorn. Yes. With that, bring over the sketch. Finally, a prompt that presents a good opportunity for me to practice that fun, cartoony new school style that I'm trying to improve at. I'm going for it. And I want to go straight up cutesy on it. Creepy Ashleigh will be back, worry not, but this one just needed to be cute today. So let's start with this sweet little unicorn head. That part is straightforward. I mean, we all have seen unicorn drawings before. I'm not breaking any new ground with that one. But now for her plesiosaur roots, I definitely wanted her to have those two little front fins or flippers, whatever you would call them. But in place of the two rear fins and tail, we're doing that mermaid tail. Oh yes, I love it already. We must name this new hybrid creature species. And since I'm oh so creative, I just take the existing creature names and find some way to mash them together. For this one, I have chosen Plessy Mermicorn. She needs an actual name too. I left it to the audience to name my Dracaterus, and the majority voted Snowball, which I love. So for future reference, she is now Snowball. But for you, what shall we name you? I swear my brain just works in alliterations. Like whatever letter the species starts with, I'm inclined to start the name with that letter.
Like, for instance, Marla the Mantis.
So I'm going to call her Polly. That sounds nice. Polly the Plessy Mermicorn. So I was all over the place with medium on this one. I used alcohol markers right out of the gate for that font, which I did kind of a crappy graffiti style to try and work with the new school vibe of the drawing. It doesn't look great, but I don't know, I tried. But then I switched over to watercolor to do the background. Number one, I was not about to fill all of that space with marker, but number two, I also thought that this would work really well for creating a texture in the background, which felt more loose and watery than just like a block of solid color. I also used watercolor for the base of her skin, or would you call it her hide? Because like a horse has hide, and that's what I imagined her texture would be. I don't know. I digress. The areas of her head and torso. It's a lightish blue, so she kind of looks white, but like she's picking up the blue tones from the water she's in. You get it? Okay. And then lastly, I had to do the base of that mermaid tail. Yes, I could have honestly done any color, but I'm a sucker for the classic green mermaid tail, okay? Sue me. Once the watercolor was dry, I went back in with alcohol markers for the rest of the color. See, I told you, I was all over the place. Okay, time to punch it up with the colored pencils and thick lines. Ooh-wee, she's looking fab. Just screaming for one more thing. My favorite thing. Yes, it's juicy highlight time. Alrighty, it's definitely time to get her glued into the book. And fancy up that prompt. Just a tad. Done. I love. I'm getting closer to what I want this style to look like, so that is very encouraging. In the meantime, I'm enjoying sprinkling this cute stuff in from time to time. Super, super fun. But now we are on to prompt number 3. Create awkwardness. Think of something you could say to cause an awkward silence. Such a weird prompt, and trust me, the idea I came up with for it is even weirder, but you know what? Here we go. I mean, it wasn't like I had any of you fooled into thinking I was not a weird person, right? So I wanted to start with 2 little rats. Simple enough. Pretty straightforward, right? Although these two little rats have a much deeper story. Anybody remember Pinky and the Brain? Two lab rats planning world domination? Okay, this is loosely inspired. Maybe this is like an origin story of sorts for them. Yes, these two are lab rats. Again, went watercolor on this prompt. I don't know why, but I was feeling it this week. When you feel it, you just gotta cave. All right, now I want to be very clear about this before I even get further into this prompt. I will be incorporating some humor into this prompt. Not like slapstick, it's more punny than funny. But still, I feel the need to disclose that I am not trying to make light of animal testing. I think it's actually pretty disturbing and sad. And if you're triggered by this kind of thing, like, I don't know, you might hate this prompt. So I'm just putting it out there. So as you can see, these little dudes are having a conversation, which will be revealed just as soon as I punch up the color with some colored pencils and thicken the liner, which is meow. So here it is. The brain says,
This animal testing is out of control. Lenny looks ridiculous.
to which Pinky replies,
He really does.
so now we've got to draw up poor Lenny. Oh my god, I did it again. The alliteration thing. Lenny the lab rat. What is wrong with me? Well, this is where it gets icky. I don't even remember how, but I stumbled across an article about a lab successfully using stem cells to generate an ear. A whole ear out of nothing. I don't know what the practical application for this science is, but they're doing it. And sadly, they grew this ear on a lab rat. Yeah, the pictures are gnarly, but that's Lenny. And for the pun, he says, you know, I can hear you guys, right? You know, because he's got the extra big ear. Yeah, well, that's the point. This is supposed to cause an awkward silence, so mission accomplished. Okay, I'm just gonna shut up now and color poor Lenny. Punch him up. And there he is. Him don't deserve this kind of life. All right, well, now they must be glued into the book. I'm actually proud of this page, despite the weirdness, despite the kind of bummer undertones. Like, I think the art came out rockin', and it definitely meets the prompt. I mean, literally, nothing could follow this exchange besides awkward silence. But let's move on. Create transformation. Draw two completely different pictures in boxes 1 and 5. Then draw the stages of transformation in boxes 2 through 4. So my mind went to magical transformations with this prompt, and I thought a good example was the wizard's duel between Merlin and Madame Mim from The Sword and the Stone. Oh, I loved that scene where each would transform into different animals in order to beat the other. And hey, it's been a minute since I did anything Disney related, so let's go for it. So in box 1, I started with a drawing of Merlin and Madame Mim as they are at the start of the duel, back to back. In box number 5, we jump ahead to the conclusion of the duel where Madame Mim has cheated and transformed into a dragon against the rules. So Merlin outwits her and transforms himself into a virus, besting the beast with his intellect. These two images took so long to draw that I did all the others off camera. And before the diehard fans come for me, I am aware that these are out of order. This transformation came first, so it should have been in box number 2. But I had already drawn the other two before realizing I skipped it. Whoopsie doopsie. But we will be fine. It still works. We just have the start of the duel, the walrus elephant transformation, the goat rhino transformation, the fox bunny transformation, and the duel's conclusion where Merlin triumphs. There were more animal transformations in the duel, but I only drew the ones where the two characters interacted in a way that was easy to draw in this shape of a box. So since I drew this directly in the book, I chose to use colored pencils for the coloring to be sure that I wouldn't have to deal with bleed through. But things went horribly wrong. I used two brands that I've been loving lately, which are the Amazon Basics and the Faber-Castells. But they did not perform the way that I'm used to seeing. I don't know what the problem was. I think it was probably me and my technique. This was the last prompt of the day. Like, I was tired, my hand hurt. I didn't want to press super hard, but I did layer after layer after layer. I even used the colorless blender, and it was just so scratchy and streaky looking. I couldn't deal. I erased as much as I could, and in an act of desperation, I reached for my Artex brush pens. You guys know I kind of have a hate relationship with these, which still just blows my mind because I've been blissfully using the bullet nib Artex pens and have been so happy with those. But I needed something that wasn't going to bleed through the pages, and those definitely do. So the brush, it had to be. Now, I struggle with this decision because they really did bail me out when I had no other choices, but they still gave me problems. First issue, I had to contend with the dried out markers. After the last use, I was salty and decided to re-swatch all of the markers and mark which ones were dry to the point that I didn't want to use them. Like, look at all of those. So for this, I avoided all of those markers, which meant not getting all of the colors quite right for this picture. And the second issue was application. The juicy ones were still a little streaky, but not much to be done about that. Like, it is what it is. But also, since the drawings were so small, it was impossible to color perfectly in the lines. There were spots where I overlapped colors and points where there were just tiny white spots. And the only way to hide those issues was to go over all of the liner, but with a thicker tip. And unfortunately, that made the drawings look oddly bold. Like, for how small the drawings are, they needed that micro liner to still look like Disney's animation style. Oh well, I did my best, okay? I am a mere mortal. I cannot make magic happen. And these two boxes alone took me ages to complete. So rather than speed the footage up like 100 times to fit it in this video, I just did the rest off camera. Ugh, what drama. But it's cool. I'm just gonna give each box a nice bold border and give the prompt the tiniest bit of attention, like just enough to say I did. And this one's done. It gave me entirely too much trouble, took entirely too long, and the end result is kind of ho-hum. But you know what? The page is done. You can tell what it is, and I still love the idea. So you know what? I'm calling it good. I don't even care. But that wraps up the week, and now we can recap. We created Relaxation, enjoying a combination of snapped and skincare. I had fun getting to take the time to chill, even if it was just 20 minutes. Like, I needed it this week, and I really think it helped me get through the video. We created a mythical creature. Well, another one. This time we merged a plesiosaur, a mermaid, and a unicorn to create Polly, the plesiomermicorn. I just adore her. I think she's fun. I really do love these animal creature merges. They always come out well, and they make me feel so creative. And hey, making progress on the new school front. This one made me happy for sure. We created Awkwardness with this awkward exchange between lab rats. It was a weird prompt. I made a weird piece. What can I say? There's something about it that I still love. Maybe it's the rats. Like, I've never drawn rats before, and I think they actually came out really cute. Well, Pinky and the Brain did. Not Lenny. Poor Lenny. And lastly, we created Transformation, showing a handful of the awesome magical transformations Merlin and Madame Mim underwent during their wicked fun wizard duel. I loved this scene. I wish I could have done it more justice, but I seriously just need to stop working directly in the book. It limits my medium so much, and I usually end up disappointed. That said, though, I'm still nuts about the prompt concept, so I really can't hate on it.
Well, that's it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and it could just be me, but I actually already am feeling a little bit better. Maybe it was the mask and 20 minutes of Snapped. But I actually did have some fun with these prompts. I'm glad I didn't sit this week out. And yeah, until next time when I will hopefully be 100% again. Goodbye.